Hey everybody and welcome. I don't usually do these kind of videos, but this should be a bit of fun to look behind the scenes and into my deep dark past, so to speak, anyway. So let me take you all back to a time about 8 years ago. I was in college and I just started up tabletop RPGs about 2 years before, having played in a D&D 4th edition game to completion, and having run and completed a Unhallowed Metropolis campaign, which was the first ever game that I ran myself. A friend of mine, who we'll call X for the reason of this video, ran a Legend of the Five Rings game, 4th edition, just so you know, with some edits so that he could run it in the world of Naruto. Now, at the time, I was an avid fan of the series and deep into all of the lore, so I jumped on this immediately and it was, honestly, a great time. But as time went on, shortly afterwards, they were unable to keep the game going thanks to real life stuff, and we had an avid group of Naruto fans who really wanted to play an RPG based on it. That's when I stepped up to the plate, so to speak, and set to my grand designs, my greatest genjutsu. I locked myself in my room and started to work on a full-scale Naruto Conversion for the Savage Worlds RPG, with custom jutsu, rules for chakra, types of chakra, new skills, items, equipment, edges, abilities, and even a whole new wound system to reflect the anime scale crazy battles that were going on. I also worked in systems for Kekkei and made it so it was fair compared to other characters who didn't take any of the bloodline traits that you could get through those. Finally, after days of work completing this conversion, I emerged from my cave, inviting my players to a game with a simple and very much similar concept to the show itself. The players were tasked with creating characters based on the lore of the world, creating young and not yet proven ninjas to form a brand new team. The game took place in the future, a generation after the series' own characters, but with many personal liberties as to what happened at the end of the series, as at this stage, the manga hadn't even been completed. The players came to the table and began to create their characters, which I went through with them step by step along the way individually, and man did they deliver on their strange and amazing concepts. The team consisted of Sasori Nara, who is a smart ninja of the Nara clan with links to a clan gifted with a blood-based jutsu Kekkei Genkai. They were the tactician of the group, so to speak. Satoi, a ninja originating from the village hidden in the clouds who was transferred to the Leaf, a large and strong character who had a very cold demeanor about them in the beginning and didn't make too many friends at the start, but warmed up later on. And they had a history of a great militaristic ninja in their background. Kai Sakai, a happy-go-lucky taijutsu-focused ninja with a strange past and a great mystery of a scroll that was gifted to them by a stranger who haunted their past. Riri, a character with a split personality gifted with strange Sam powers who viewed each of their personalities as sisters, each with their own individual approaches who originated from the village hidden in the sand. Finally, we had Sosuke, a ninja sent to the Leaf unwillingly from the newly restored village hidden in the Sound, who had a very dark past and was untrusted by all those who knew about their origin within the village. We began much like the series itself, the group starting as Academy Ninjas and being ran through the basic mechanics of Savage Worlds through tests. First up was an obstacle course that was set to test their athletic abilities and their ability to dodge and weave away from threats in creative ways. I also introduced some of the other enigmatic characters in the class at this stage, which they quickly grew to either love or hate depending on who it was. This taught them how to make rolls in Savage Worlds and tested their attributes in a natural way that kind of showed them how the game worked and how to do those rolls in the first place, which was pretty useful in the end. Second was a jutsu test. Each of them had to form the correct signs and channel chakra through their form to cast a basic academy-level jutsu of each type. This introduced the homebrew rules I'd created for jutsu casting to further reflect the show and the lore, along with the use of chakra and showcase their individual specialities to each other in a dynamic way. Some succeeded critically and others failed horribly, which was even more fun and added to the fun and drama the characters already had. Finally, the players were paired off with an NPC or a player based on their roll of a D10. They squared up against another student of the academy to test their combat skills in short and snappy combat. The first to cause a wound would win. The initiative was everything thanks to this rule. Our players rolled and played out their first combat in Savage Worlds, being ran through the multiple actions and frenetic combat system in style as they faced off at a flashy taijutsu battle with another academy student. This introduced the basics to them in a quick form and allowed them to see exactly how creative you can get with the combat system, which they absolutely loved. The characters each passed in their own ways, gaining their headbands and having knowledge of the other students, each other, and the abilities they had at their disposal. Still, however, they had not unlocked their full potential at this point. There were still more things they could do with their characters and the abilities I'd written in to reflect the show. This would come after they met their sensei and were chosen as an unlikely team. One consideration I had with this was that the teams were going to be larger than the normal 3-man teams, as we were playing an RPG and there were 5 players, so one way we got around this and allowing people to play different types of ninja from different villages, as they each had their favorite village in the show, I created a transfer student system that was placed in the aftermath of the Great Ninja War to foster peace and teamwork between the different various villages. It's at this stage that they met their sensei. After they'd passed their exam, gained their headbands, and they finally saw who was teaching them, which was quite an interesting character in their own right. This opened up a whole new world of possibilities in the game as they took part in their first dangerous and near fatal mission. After the session finished, we sat down and the players were super into the game, theme and world, and well, they were all massive fans of the existing universe and were hungry for more. We talked for hours about possible plots and the characters before calling it a day. After this, we formed a long-term campaign that played out over roughly a year, playing weekly for 5 hours and forging a massive story of this new team in the fresh new version of the world, full of drama, massive battles, growth, and loss. It was honestly a brilliant time. One I'll never forget, even this many years down the line. I always remember this beginning, this start, because whilst it was a really simple way to introduce those mechanics, doing it in-game and in character was just really engaging, and I absolutely loved Naruto at the time, so it was cool to play and run something that was a theme that I absolutely loved that wasn't necessarily an RPG setting, which was really cool. The rules developed along with the actual game, and I still have them around actually for Deluxe Savage Worlds. I even have been debating redoing them for Adventure Edition and maybe introducing some more people to it who want to play that sort of a game. I may speak more on this campaign in the future, or even the actual stories of the individual characters and sort of what happened between them, as there's a lot of really good ones. This was my first ever campaign that I sort of approached people to do and brought them to somewhere separate from the game store and formed this sort of long-lasting group with, so I just wanted to tell my story of how my first game of Savage Worlds came about and exactly how I sort of started running as often as I now do. This isn't my normal type of video, as a lot of you who are on the channel will know, but if you enjoyed it, let me know and subscribe for more of these. I may make more story videos like this for fun in the future. I kind of like them being pretty relaxed and open, and I'm enjoying doing this, so I hope you've all enjoyed it. And I may do more individual stories and go deeper into these things in the future and do things that are a little less broad. But I wanted to get this out there for people to see and hear, so to speak. Thank you to all my patrons who have helped me to keep creating these videos, and expect another big video soon. Thanks to everybody who watched this far. Until next time, follow your ninja way and whatever that may be. Thank you.